There is one task, the single most important thing you will ever do in this life, that you are quietly putting off. And the disturbing part? You don't even realize you're doing it. In the next few minutes, I'll show you the invisible psychological law that's stealing your most precious project right out from under you, and the simple shift the wisest people in history used to take it back. You don't need to be religious. You don't need to be spiritual. You just need to be honest with yourself for the next 10 minutes. Let me paint 3 pictures. Tell me if any of them feel familiar. Phew! That was close. I submitted the assignment with 30 seconds to spare before midnight. Driver, please hurry. My interview starts in 10 minutes. I cannot miss this. Mum, the tailor said, the blouse won't be ready until Saturday. The wedding is on Sunday. Why couldn't he just finish it earlier? Sound familiar? Of course it does. You and I have lived these moments 100 times, and every time we make the same quiet promise. Next time, I'll start early. Now be honest with me. Has that ever actually happened? Here's something even funnier. Right now, as I write these words, I am racing against a deadline myself, even though I had an entire month to prepare this. So why? Why do intelligent, capable, well-meaning people keep falling into the exact same trap? The answer isn't laziness. It's a universal law called Parkinson's law. In 1955, a British writer named Cyril Northcote Parkinson wrote one simple sentence that has haunted productivity experts ever since. Work expands to fill the time available for its completion. Give a person 2 weeks to finish a report, and it takes 2 weeks. Give them 2 days, and miraculously, it's done in 2 days. The work didn't change. The time available did. In my own home, my wife is always ready to leave at exactly the moment we're already sitting in the car. The neighbors know our car horn means the family is running late again. The hidden engine inside Parkinson's law is procrastination. The moment our brain knows it has time, it relaxes, it defers, it waits. When a deadline exists, it forces us to act. It pulls the work out of us. But what happens when there's no deadline at all? That's where this stops being funny. This same harmless little law is the reason we keep postponing the most important project of our entire existence. Not your career, not your bank balance. I'm talking about the search for truth, self-realization, knowing who you really are. The one thing nearly every wisdom tradition on earth agrees is the actual point of being alive. And why is there never any urgency? Because of the deadline, or rather, the absence of one. For every other task, you know the time you have. The assignment has a due date, the wedding is on Sunday. But for the project called life itself, no one ever told you the deadline. And so Parkinson's law does what it always does. The work expands. I'll get serious about my inner life later, after the promotion, after retirement. When things calm down, we live as though this life will never end. Deep down, beneath all our talk, we secretly believe we have unlimited time. Ancient Mahabharata captured this. A mysterious being asks a wise king, "What is the most astonishing thing in all the world?" Day after day, countless beings die before our very eyes. And yet those who remain behind live as though they will never die. 2,000 years later, that is still the truest description of the human condition. We watch death all around us and remain convinced it doesn't apply to us. But here's the thing about deadlines. The moment one appears, everything changes. A person is diagnosed. The doctor says, "You have 1 month." Suddenly, their entire life reorganizes itself. The petty grudges, gone. The endless scrolling, abandoned. Suddenly, they're calling the people they love, searching for meaning, pursuing what is real. That is Parkinson's law working for them. The deadline arrived and pulled out a depth of living they'd postponed for decades. There's an ancient story of a king named Parikshit told he would die in 7 days. The moment he knew, He dropped everything and pursued the highest truth. It said he attained in 7 days what most people don't reach in 70 years. Nothing had changed, except one thing. He finally knew his deadline. The poet Saint Kabir pierced straight through. What you plan to do tomorrow, do it today, for in a single moment, everything can end. So, when will you ever begin? He compared this whole life to a single dewdrop resting on a leaf. One gust of wind, and it's gone. You are that dewdrop. So am I. But what do? We don't walk around terrified. We do something far wiser. We borrow the power of the deadline before it's forced upon us. 2,000 years ago, Seneca said it, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste much of it. Life is long enough if you know how to use it." This practice, memento mori, remember that you will die, wasn't morbid. It was the most life-giving idea he had, because remembering the end is what makes you finally start. Marcus Aurelius, an emperor who could have anything, reminded himself each morning, "You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do, and say, and think." And Steve Jobs told a room of graduates, "Remembering that I'll be dead soon is the most important tool I've ever encountered. Almost everything falls away in the face of death." A 1955 writer, an ancient king, a Roman emperor, and a Silicon Valley founder all arrived at the same conclusion. That's not a coincidence. That's a law. So here is the shift. You don't wait for a doctor to hand you your deadline. You give yourself one today. You live with the clear-eyed awareness that your time is finite, and the one project you cannot leave for someday is coming home to who you really are. When you do that, the urgency arrives, the distractions shrink, and you finally begin the most important thing, instead of postponing it for a tomorrow that was never guaranteed. So let's pull it all together. 5 things to carry with you. 1. Work expands to fill the time available. The deadline, not the difficulty, secretly controls your behavior. 2. Because no one gave you a deadline for life itself, you've been postponing your inner awakening to a someday that may never come. 3. The most astonishing thing in the world is that we watch others die, yet live as if we never will. 4. From Parikshit to Seneca to Steve Jobs, the wise all discovered the same secret. Remembering death is what finally makes you live. 5. Don't wait for life to hand you a deadline. Set your own and begin the most important thing today, because in a single moment, it can all be gone. Now you understand the invisible law that's been quietly stealing your most important project, and exactly how to take it back, starting today. If this gave you something worth thinking about, subscribe. Every week, I bring timeless wisdom from the past to solve the problems we're all facing right now. I'll see you in the next one.